First off, I want to just let you know I have a bad camera and I don't have a mic, like a personal mic. So you're probably gonna hear a lot of extra sounds, and that's just life, you know? I also have a water fountain, a cat fountain, like right behind the camera, so you might be hearing that as well, and I also have traffic all the time. Well, hi, my name is May, and this is Hestia. This is my one cat that I adopted, and I actually have the second one literally right behind the camera right now, so I will coax her over with treats. I did adopt 2 cats last month, and I thought I would maybe make a video just talking about my experience and what it's been like adjusting to having cats. Not only 1, but 2. So yeah, that's the whole point of this video. If you don't care about pets or are a cat hater, which I will get into because I grew up as a cat hater, so we can talk about that, but this is not the video for you. This is the best way I can get them to come to me at the moment. They are not like super cuddly yet, or they also don't really want to be on laps, and I'm not gonna push them. So let's start from the beginning here. I usually try to pre-plan any type of vlog that I make, but I did not this time. So we're just gonna kind of go with it. So I started thinking about adopting a cat, a single cat, like, I don't know, months ago. I even thought about it before I got this apartment, and I was like, oh, it would be cool to just be able to adopt some cats, basically. 1, eventually 2 was my initial thought. So as the type of person I am, I research the shit out of everything, annoyingly so. So I probably spent weeks and weeks and weeks looking up everything you need to know about cats. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna test the waters. So I started going to a local cat cafe, and I wanted to see kind of how I did with cats. First, this is so discombobulated. Let me start off with my history of cats. I have grown up with dogs. I have a family that is not pro-cat. I would say pretty much all of my extended family have dogs, and if they had cats, it was extra extended family that I pretty much never saw. So my relationship with cats was just not very existent. If anything, it was on the poor side, I'll be honest. If you asked me if I was a cat or dog person, I would have said dog, hands down. And I just, yeah, I felt like cats were unpredictable because I felt like I didn't know their behavior as well as I knew dogs. So I always would be anxious around cats because I thought they would just randomly swipe me or something. And that totally stems from my family's point of view of cats, because it really didn't come from a lot of experience. I think maybe when I was a kid, I chased a cat, I was a toddler, and I got swiped at. So then I just associated that with negative thoughts about cats. Anyway, sorry, I'm just babbling on, but so I grew up with dogs, was kind of not really, I was unsure about cats, but I do love animals, so I don't hate any type of animal. So I always was okay, they're cute, I'd give them a chance, if that was the case, you know? And so I basically was the thing about cats is you can leave them, I can no longer leave Oliver, my dog, my parents' dog, I can no longer leave him here alone, which means I actually can't have him very often because if I go anywhere, he needs someone here. So it's been really, really difficult to try to transition him into this house full time because I just can't. I can't do it. I have to leave. I have to do stuff. I can't sit here with him. Basically, now that he's a senior dog, he will cry and bark really loud, and I'm in an apartment, and I can't do that, unfortunately. So I was I have the housing to adopt a cat. I know we have a crazy, every shelter is overloaded pretty much all the time, but I knew of a local shelter that had just got a huge amount of cats in, and I know post-COVID shelters are just extremely overloaded. So I knew I'm never going to buy an animal. I will always adopt if I can. So I started going to cat cafes and just seeing, kind of like, you know, figuring it out, like how I interact with cats and like watching them. And the cat cafe is for rich people, I will be honest. The one that I went to, for some reason the adoption rates were like 5 times the price of normal. And I realized because it was downtown, people can just afford to pay that, which is probably why they make the prices that way. So despite going to these cat cafes, I told myself that I was not going to adopt until the new year, like at least January, probably a little bit later. And I was like, you know, I've got stuff going on, like the timing isn't right type of thing, which was the wrong thought process, because I obviously completely ignored that. And I was looking on Pet Finder, just looking at different cats, and I ended up finding this small shelter that is not SPCA, but they're just like their own nonprofit shelter, and they were extremely overloaded. They had just got like 40 hoarder cats, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to one of their open houses and just see what's going on. Of course, it was a mistake, but not, obviously. I went to them and said, hey, like I'm looking for kind of like a middle-aged cat, like around 5. I didn't want to deal with a kitten. And I also wasn't ready to take on a senior cat as a first-time cat owner, because I just don't know the complexities that can come with any medical problems that will arise. So I just was like, yeah, like I am not super familiar with cats. I'm open to doing whatever. And they said, yeah, like just go. It was basically just like a couple different rooms with like 10 cats per room. And I went in and just looked around, and I found 2 of the more aloof cats ever. like literally, I had all of the cats that like would come up to me and want to be pet and whatever. They all were like, had like super behavioral problems or really intensive medical problems, where they would be actual like permanent fosters, where you had to live close to the shelter because they would need so much medical care, and they would pay for that medical care because like you're taking on an animal that is in need. And so basically all of those cats, I was like, I actually am not in the position to take. So they were like, there is this bonded pair. And I had done a lot of reading about bonded pairs. I was toying with the idea of 2 instead of 1, because I know it can be really hard to introduce a second cat like years down the road when you have a resident cat. So I wasn't like totally opposed to bonded pairs or like 2 cats at once, but they were like, there's this bonded pair, and they're both girls, they're both 5, they're probably litter mates, and they've been here about like 6 months. So I went, okay, like which one of those? And they were both super high up and had no interest in people, like literally at all. And the volunteer told me, she said, they're really sweet. It's just during open house, they get so overwhelmed that they like don't really want to see people. But they're really nice behind the scenes in after hours. So I went home and was like, oof, that's like it's a really big thing to take on 2 cats. And I kind of went like, let's just do it. Like I'm able to, and everything sounds really good, supposedly. I basically was mostly going on the word of this volunteer, really. And I went, okay, we're gonna do this. So I didn't want to wait, of course. I had already found the cats that I was interested in. I wasn't gonna just have them sitting in the shelter like for a couple weeks or months before I felt ready. So I basically started panic buying stuff and getting everything ready. And I said, yeah, like I'll do the application, and like I'll take them next week. So that ended up being towards the end of October, and I picked these lovely ladies up. They have been fantastic. It has been a really big change, but I am very, very pleased with what's been going on. I took them to their vet, like their first time vet visit. They said they looked really good, Hecate is kind of on the smaller side. She's a little bit underweight. She also had like a little bit of dandruff issues, but since I started feeding them the food, wet food basically, she looks lovely now. Like her coat is really nice, and I think they're just feeling a lot better. But yeah, the first night I like did everything I was supposed to do. I set them up in their like base camp. You're supposed to do like one room, isolate them to one room right away so they're not like overwhelmed. Nope, they broke out. They did not want to be, they wanted to explore the entire apartment right away. Hecate is very bold. She is kind of like the rock between the two. So she went out exploring and was like trying to get into shit right away. Hestia is a little bit more scared. She's a little bit more, she's like right here. It's so annoying. She sat right outside the camera, but Hestia is a little bit more reserved. She like definitely gets confidence from Hecate. I didn't even say their names. This is Hecate. This is Hestia. I did not do proper introductions. Do I turn the camera to show Hestia? She's literally like loafed in a little bed right now. Oh god. There she is. I'm not sure why she has her back to me. Maybe that's a sign. So sorry, I do not. Oh fuck, I really fucked up. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? It's not like I've been trying to do a setup for the last 20 minutes. Fuck me. Okay, I think I fixed it. Maybe, we'll see. I lost my train of thought because I'm just looking at, she literally looks like a fucking turkey from the back. Yeah, the process has been really easy. The only thing, like literally, I was like, oh man, it's been like 3 weeks. Like we're just about at 4 weeks. And I was like, everything is like going so well. Like they're using their litter box, they're eating, like I've been noticing them become more comfortable obviously over the last couple weeks, but I was like, man, everything is just like going so smoothly. I jinxed it, because of course I did. Of course I jinxed it. I ended up deciding to switch to a more efficient litter box system. If anyone cares, I use pine pellets with like a sifted litter box, and I really hated the design of the sifted litter boxes that you buy at the store. So instead I bought like stainless steel hotel pans, which is basically there's like a steamer and then underneath is like the normal pan. I can show you a picture. I don't think anyone actually gives a shit, but anyway, I switched to that as like there's like the second litter box. So I had the original litter box and the second litter box in like 2 different spots. And for some reason, Hestia just like, I don't know what happened. Her little brain was like, I can't compute, couldn't possibly be me. And she went and pissed on my bed. And yes, I did have cream colored duvet and I did not cat proof to the extent that I probably should have when I first got them. So I was like, fuck this, this really sucks. So I somehow shoved my giant duvet and duvet cover in the wash. I like sprayed it down with stain remover and like enzyme cleaner to remove the scent, threw it in the wash, then spent literally all day and the next day trying to dry out my duvet before I felt safe putting it in my dryer, because I thought I was gonna break my fucking dryer because it was so saturated. Like it was a disaster. So I finally end up drying out my duvet, and I'm like, fuck yeah, there's no stain, there's no smell, nothing, like this is amazing. And same with my duvet cover. So I make my bed and I'm like, you know, we're gonna have supervised visits in the bedroom now. Like we're not gonna free reign just because I don't trust her right now. So I literally that day, a couple hours later, I go and I'm like just like putting something in my dresser and my back is to the bed. She literally fucking pissed in the exact same spot. And instead, actually, I hadn't even put my duvet cover on yet. So it actually was just straight on the duvet and went through my sheets, not to my mattress, thank fuck. But, so I went, you know what? So I actually threw out my duvet and had to buy a new one. And because I was like, I'm not going through that whole process again. So that was the day I was going to record this video, and I was like, you know what? It's not the cat's fault, but a little spicy today. I'm not feeling like sharing the cats today. So that is like literally the only problem I've had with them. I did have a minor moment with Hecate where she bit a fucking cactus. Don't ask why. She bit a cactus and like tried to eat it, and luckily this was before the vet. I took her to the vet, and the vet was like, there's nothing there, she's fine, she's just a little bit dumb. So anyway, that is like the only shenanigans I would say that has like, was really not pleasant, but that's my fault. I made the transition too fast probably, I don't know. Who knows what goes on their little brain, because literally like a day or two after she peed on my bed, she literally, actually no, hours later, she pooped in the new litter box. So I guess she's okay, it's fine to poop in the litter box, but she can't pee in that litter box. So I don't know, maybe, hopefully they figure it out, or at least Hestia figures it out, but yeah, they are indoor cats. If you were wondering, I feel very passionately about indoor cats versus outdoor cats in North America. I live on a very busy street. I also live in an apartment. I'm a couple floors up, so there is no, not only do I don't want to risk their lives, I also am very much aware of the impact on wildlife that cats have. So I literally have seen dead cats on the side of the road, like really close to my house, and I also have watched cats just like absolutely decimate the rabbit population nearby. So they are indoor cats. I will probably try to do some kind of like catio setup on my balcony in the summer or like the spring, but otherwise they're indoor, and that's just kind of the way it is. That's what I'm doing. So they've been indoor their whole lives. They wouldn't know any different anyway. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I was like thinking of a way I could do this where it'd be like a Q&A, and I'll just make up questions that you guys might ask me. But now I'm blanking because I didn't write anything down. So let's see if I can get them to play a little bit, if you guys want to see that. If I don't get any good like footage of them, I'll just show you videos and pictures that I've taken like throughout getting to know them and stuff. But yeah, this thing is called a cat dancer. You guys can probably barely see it because it's literally a wire with cardboard, like literally tiny little cardboard nibs. Okay, this is like a $4 toy. They literally think it's the fucking best thing in life. Look, Hestia's already come out. They think it is the coolest thing they could possibly play with. I have spent money on toys that they completely ignore. This one, we go crazy for it. But they also have started actually tearing into it and like ripping the shit out of it. Are you gonna do anything? Here, look at the camera. You're so cute. And they don't get to see your cuteness. No, maybe not. I think it's because it like bounces like a bug, or like it has like an unpredictable movement. Like I'm barely doing anything and it just like goes fucking crazy. Have I absolutely like whacked them in the face with this multiple times? Yes, but it doesn't hurt because it's nothing. Okay, I mean, we got her out, but I don't think she's actually interested. Just a fun fact too, they actually did not touch this couch mostly for like the first 2 weeks. For some reason, they were like, this is your space, we will not go on it. At most, they would like run quickly across the top edge. They would not do this at all. They were like, this is your space. Whenever I watch TV, my TV is right here. So I will sit here with my blanket, and they were like, we don't want anything of it. Oh, so now you're gonna play? Will we play now? Yeah, so this is actually like really big news. They were not, you're gonna do it here, come over here. They also won't step on the blanket. I don't know if they have a problem with blankets. They literally are like, this is yours and I want nothing of it. So I have not had any of the cuddling that you could get from cats or dogs. I'm not asking for that. Like if it happens, that would be great, but I'm not gonna push them before they're ready. Like I'm not gonna pick them up and pull them on my lap when they obviously don't want that. Like it's so early. I've read where people say it took like a year for a cat to feel comfortable enough. to be like picked up or whatever. And I would say for the most part, they're just like very tolerant. Like they have never hissed, swatted, or anything like that. They will not bite. They will let you do shit, but they like don't want you to. So if Hecate, if Hecate wants to go on the counter, she loves to be a counter hopper. I will pick her up and put her down, and she will let me. She won't like have a problem with it, but it's very clear that she doesn't want me to hold her. Same goes for her. So I also think because they were at the shelter for 6 months, the shelter twice a week on the weekends would be open to the public about 2 hours. So they basically got tons of people coming in and out all the time, which is why I think they're so tolerant of things, because they're used to that. Okay, we're really taking a big chomp. Oh my god. I can trim their nails fine. They like to be brushed, mostly. She tolerates it. She loves it. Yeah, I mean, overall, pretty good experience. But you guys might be asking, what about Oliver? What about little guy? So I asked the volunteers at the shelter. Obviously, they are a cat-only shelter, so they get a limited history. When cats are dropped off, they'll be lucky if they get like the bare minimum of information about them. From what I was told, they think they should be able to tolerate a small senior dog. If anything, I'm waiting until they are very comfortable. People say it usually takes about 3 months to feel like at home. And then I will be introducing Oliver to them. I think worst case scenario, they will literally just avoid him. So like, I have a big cat tree just off screen. They might bully him a little bit. We're just gonna go slow and kind of see how it goes. But I'm not like super concerned that it'll be a problem. Someone's vacuuming the hallway right now. Of course, I forgot. Today's the day. There's always landscapers or something going on in my building, like constantly. We've lost it, hey? It's probably because I'm being very boring. I'm playing very, very boring like, but what other questions? Oh, so part of my experience with cats involved me being mildly allergic. I have been mildly allergic to cats most of my life, but I will set the stage for you. As I said, I did not see cats very often. When I would see cats, this is light shade but not heavy shade. When I would see cats, it would be at people's houses where they would have multiple cats, and they weren't the cleanest. Okay, this is everybody is able to, it's their own home and stuff, but I definitely think I noticed as a kid, I would, oh, she's flopped. Oh, she's so cute. I wish I had another camera. I'm sorry. I'll show you guys pictures. But I am like obsessed. I'm an obsessive cleaner. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm an obsessive cleaner. I got that from my parents. They're both very, very clean people. And I feel like the majority of the time when I would go to houses with cats, they would have multiple cats and they maybe weren't as high on cleaning maintenance as I would be. So I would go there. If I ended up staying the night, I would sneeze like crazy. I would get like itchy eyes and just kind of like all around like not feel amazing. It has never been like really aggressive. It's never been like super severe of an allergy, and it's the only allergy I've ever had in my life. So that was kind of part of the reason why I was going to cat cafes as well as the shelter, because I wanted to see how I tolerated it. So the cat cafe specifically, like you get like your coffee or whatever, and then you'd go in a special room and there'd be like maybe 20 cats at a time. And so I was going there as like a test to myself. She's like, no. A test to myself that I just wanted to see how my body would react. So it would take me like, it'd be like an hour-long session you'd pay for. it would take me a good 45 minutes to start feeling anything. And that's with 20 cats. So I was like, you know what? This is honestly not bad. This is like not a bad situation, really. So I decided that I think it was worth it. I did tons of research. I used the food that helps with reducing allergens. I could talk more on that if you guys care. I also have an air purifier right by my bed. Now they are no longer allowed in my bedroom anyway, just because I don't want to keep replacing my duvet. So I have basically been able to manage my symptoms, and I now, after a month, I actually have 0 symptoms. So I am in a position where I kind of just like brute forced it. I got like a nasal spray and Benadryl just in case, and I, started them on this allergy medication, the allergy food, and it went away. But I also vacuum often. I am like on top of maintenance. I brush them daily, or I try to, and it's just worked out for me. So I am one of the lucky ones, because like I wouldn't have taken this chance if I was severely allergic. And even if I was, I would have just gone to try to get allergy shots. Like, my whole plan wasn't, I'm going to get these cats. If I'm too allergic, I'll return them. That was like not ever going to be an option. It was always going to be like, let's try a few times. So I did 3 separate tests with a whole bunch of cats to see. And then I was like, okay, if I feel like I can manage these symptoms, then I'm going to go through with it. And I can, and now they've gone. So the allergen food is basically, it neutralizes a enzyme in their saliva that is usually the number one thing that people are allergic to. And because they lick themselves, it's not necessarily dander that you're allergic to. It can be, but it's usually the saliva. So the food that I give them now neutralizes that, and it takes about 3 or 4 weeks to start working. So that's probably why I don't have any symptoms anymore. I stopped taking the nasal spray. I don't take Benadryl anymore. And I just have my air purifier on all the time. So yeah, I mean, I made it work. It's not going to be the reality for other people, but I took this risk knowing that I was going to face it head on. I wasn't going to just like be like, well, fuck, I guess that's that, right? Like, I wasn't going to do that. So I feel comfortable now saying that, this was the situation and I dealt with it. Like, I didn't want to tell people that, like, oh yeah, I'm also allergic, because I feel like people would be like, what the fuck? You were allergic to cats and you got 2 cats. Like, are you crazy? And like, yeah, a little bit. But I also like did a pros and cons. Like, I thought it through. I wasn't just like, well, like, I don't see adopting cats as like, you have to be committed. Like, I prepared for this. I know that they will last probably another 10 to 15 years. Like, I'm ready for this type of commitment, and I didn't take it lightly. So that's why I don't feel the need to like push them into cuddling with me, or doing things that they're not comfortable with, because I'm just going to let them go at their own pace. I did not get them purely for companionship. I got them because the shelters were overloaded, and I wanted to do something that I know that I'm able to do now. Who's that evil dog? Evil puppies. That's another thing about having, like, if I entertained the idea of them being outdoor, there are dogs fucking everywhere, like literally everywhere. This is an extremely busy neighborhood with people. Like, I have a park nearby and people let their dogs off leash all the time. Like, it is just, anyway, it's just a lot. But yeah, so they have really been lovely. They've been lovely, and it's been such a good experience. And I feel very lucky that I have cats that are extremely tolerant. I was like mentally preparing myself for not being able to do certain things with them, and for the most part, while they aren't super cuddly yet, they will let me do lots of things. They have never been nasty to me. The only thing that really kills me is like when I was looking up like bonded cats and the benefits of having 2 cats instead of 1, and it's like they'll play with each other, they'll do whatever. These bitches, they barely play with each other. I have to play with them. Like, they will maybe, the most I've seen basically is Hecate will chase Hestia, and then Hestia will hiss at her and be like, fucking stop. And I'm like, guys, can you, like, the whole thing, obviously not the whole point, but I was like, one of the benefits of having two cats is they exert, like, they will get rid of energy. Like, if you're busy all day, they will play with each other. No, I have yet to see that. So I actually have to play with both of them, you know, more than I expected, which is fine. But I just laugh because I'm like, that's what everybody says about getting two cats. And like, what do you know? I have a bonded pair, and they're definitely bonded. I'm like 95% certain they are sisters. We don't know for sure, but they groom each other. They check in on each other a lot, like especially when Hestia would be very scared initially if anything changed here. She would be hiding under the bed before they are no longer there. And Hecate would often check on her. Like, they definitely are like a bonded pair. But I'm like, these bitches, they don't cuddle, and they barely play with each other. I have to initiate play, basically. So it is what it is. I mean, that's just the way it works. But so I'm just thinking they're just like not cuddly girls in general. They are independent women, and I support that. Is there anything else? I don't know. They're lovely. They're loving girls, and I'm very pleased with what's going on with them. I did put collars on them about 2 weeks ago. They are not fans. But I purposely got like cheap, shitty Amazon collars because I wanted to even see if they could tolerate it. Basically, what I'm eventually going to do is I have ordered thinner, like lighter fabric collars that I will put on with tags that say like indoor microchipped. So basically, if there's ever a fire or if they happen to get out like on my balcony or something, then people hopefully will be able to tell. They are microchipped, but I feel like a lot of normal people will just like not think of that when they find an animal. So I'm basically just like covering all my bases just in case. And yeah, they're over it now, but when I first put a collar on Hestia, she literally would only walk backwards. So when I first put it on, she walked backwards because she was like, what the fuck is on my neck? And then she hid. And then I checked on her and she was dead asleep, so she obviously like got over it. And it kind of like started off being like they would forget, and then all of a sudden they'd be like hyper aware of it, and they would start trying to lick it, all that kind of stuff. But they are pretty much fully used to them now. There's like the occasional scratching they'll do, but you might think it's not worth it for indoor cats to have collars. I think because I live in an apartment building and anything can happen, I would rather just be safe. It's for their own safety. They have breakaway things, so like they can't get caught on anything. But yeah, so I really thought that people upstairs were moving. They had a for sale sign, and then I heard moving furniture over a week ago, and they're still fucking here. What are you guys doing? How long does it take to fucking move? Anyway, that's all. So yeah, you guys will be seeing them. I now have that shelf above my chair, basically, so they hopefully will make an appearance. It's usually Hecate prefers to be up there. Otherwise, I will probably end this video with just like a little collage of some videos and pictures that I have of them and how cute they're being, and maybe you guys will see in a couple months that they will be on my lap or something. Or I will also talk about what happens when I introduce Oliver to them and see how that goes, because I think it'll be fine. I'm not too concerned. But Oliver also has been an only child his whole life, so it will be a little bit of a adjustment for him probably. He has met cats before, but not like super common, not often, and usually it would be like a brief period of time. So I think worst case scenario is, yeah, they'll just hide from him and he'll be like, okay, whatever, I don't care, like I don't give a shit. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I don't know if I covered everything that I wanted to talk about, but I am someone that, you know, puts a lot of time into doing things right or trying to do things right. So I did like try to cover all my bases for how to introduce cats and making adjustments in my life and that kind of thing. So other than the piss other than the piss duvet and the biting a literal cactus, it's been pretty good. So yeah. Do I do my outro for vlogs? I don't even know. I kind of want to start doing more vlogs, but I also like have the shittiest setup. My phone is 8 years old and I don't have like a mini mic or anything. So I just thought I would change it up. I get sick of like sitting in front of my computer, and it's boring for you guys, I feel like, to just see me just blending into my dark gray wall. So I thought I'd change up the scenery, but I'll do my thing. If you are still here, thank you so much for watching. You could have clicked on any video, but you clicked on mine, and I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.